Hebrew name. And her presentation is called Name Calling is Not Just Name Calling.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is, what it's called. So here we go.
Banana! Woo!
She's a good friend. Anyway, good evening everyone. My name is Gerson, and I'm from the UK. I'm 22, and I'm part of the Teaching Alarm program. And I'm going to start by talking about my trip to Bosnia about 3 years ago. But before I start my talk, I actually just want to start by asking a couple of questions. So if you could answer by show of hands, that would be great. And so, first question. Could you raise your hand if you've ever been a victim of a racist or a derogatory comment? Okay.
You're Jewish.
Thank you. Second question. Can you raise your hand if you have ever witnessed somebody else on the receiving end of a racist comment or exchange? Yeah. Thank you. And I'm not going to ask you to put your hands up for this question, but those of you who had your hands up, just have a think. Like, what did you do in the situation? Did you intervene? Did you step in? Like, have a think about what you did, because I know, like, I'm guilty of letting it go. Sometimes it's best just to, like, not cause a fuss. Like, I'm British, we don't want to start an argument. You know? But, you know, we might actually think what's wrong with the odd comment here or there. Like, should we really start an argument over it? It's, you know, it's best to let it go and not cause a fuss. Like, that guy called me a Jew, but I am Jewish and he is right. You know, that other person said, oh, you know, that guy's so gay, like, maybe he is gay, like, why should I get involved? And it's little comments like these that most of us, we make excuses for them, we let them go, we just think, oh, they're joking, they didn't mean it, maybe I misheard them. We always make excuses for them. And I'm sure I don't need a show of hands to say that the majority of the people in this room know someone or have a family member who was affected by the Holocaust. And I could also say with a high degree of confidence that we all thought that as a human race, that society was past that and would never ever allow it to happen again. So in my introduction I said that I was 22 and I'm born in 1995. And you know, quite a lot of things happened in 1995. O.J. Simpson trial, Forrest Gump, my favourite film, lots of stuff, Nintendo 64. But when I was younger, and this will come as no surprise to any of my friends, I was extremely gullible, and I still am. And when I was younger, I thought that pre-1960s, the whole world was in black and white. Why? Because TV was. Like, I'm a film student, so that was like my logic. And I couldn't understand why and how, like, all of a sudden, the grass became green and the sky became blue. And I have two older brothers that I get on with very well, but they've always teased me. So when I was 4 and I had this childlike logic, I said to them, you know, like, one day, you know, that the colour just came into the world. Like, you know, it was black and white in TV, so therefore the world was also in black and white. And they told me that one day people from all over the world decided to colour in the walls, the paint, the trees, everything around us in crayons and paint, and whatever. Like, that made sense to me at that age. And, you know, it seemed like a perfectly logical explanation for the sudden appearance of colour in TV, in film, and more importantly, photographs. And being the granddaughter of Holocaust survivors, I grew up with, you know, my family was so intertwined and affected by genocide. So from a young age, I was really aware of what happened during the Second World War, before it, after it, and I listened to stories. And I was taken to museums, and I was shown pictures, but still, I couldn't grasp the reality of it. You know, these pictures were in black and white, my grandma was old, And you know, to me, museums were meant for like old-fashioned paintings and fossils from like Tudor times. And this happened to me as a kid ages ago, 70 years ago. You know, as a child, you just can't comprehend to like what is actually quite a short period of time on a historical timeline. Like 70 years or 700 years, to me as a child, like that, it didn't matter. It was ages ago, and as a human race, we were past this. Judging somebody on something as simple as your sexuality, your religion, your beliefs, your political beliefs, something like that, like to me at that age, it was just wrong. Simply, it was black or white. And something like this could never happen again, because after all, society had said it could, and it would never happen again. And, you know, I'm sure we've all said the words never again. Pretty much every year at Holocaust Memorial Day, or any type of, any Memorial Day to be honest. We see it on Twitter, Instagram, all these kind of things. But unfortunately, it did happen again, many times. And especially, it happened in Bosnia and Herzegovina in 1995, in Srebrenica, the year that I was born. And for those of you who don't know what happened, and don't worry, I literally had no idea that anything like this happened until one day in the first year of university, I had an email waiting for me in my inbox. Check your emails, everyone. Because it said, "Hi, my name is Amy Drake. I work for a charity called Remembering Srebrenica." I had no idea how to pronounce it. And she said, "As you may or may not know, it's the 20th anniversary of the Bosnian genocide coming up. And we've been approached by the BBC to make a documentary, and we're looking for people born the year that it happened, and we want to know if you want to get involved." So first of all, I was like, okay, I had no idea. How do I pronounce this, and how did they find out about me? But whatever, 2 weeks later, I'm on the plane to Bosnia with 4 other students and a BBC camera crew. And basically, all you need to know is that there was a big, big war in Yugoslavia, and it broke down. And I'm not going to go into the history of it because it's not a history lesson. I stopped history in GCSEs. But all you need to know is that in just 3 days, 8,372 Muslim men and boys were systematically murdered just because of their faith. And Kofi Annan described this mass murder as the worst crime on European soil since the Second World War. And only last week, 6 days ago, General Radko Mladic was sentenced to life imprisonment for crimes against humanity. So it's taken a long time for this to come to public knowledge. And so in 2015, as I said, I was lucky enough to go on this delegation to Bosnia, and I could go on for hours about what I saw and what I learned. But one thing in particular really stood out to me, and it's something that I have not been able to shake off since. We spent some time in the Protekari Memorial Centre, and it was here that I saw images of soldier brutality towards innocent civilians. Skeletal figures imprisoned behind barbed wire, in concentration camps, sites of mass graves, horrifying footage of people being executed by firing squad. And these victims were guilty of nothing other than their faith. And this sounds pretty familiar. And of course, like, I'd seen these dehumanizing pictures before. I'd seen homosexuals being beaten on the streets, the disabled shot on sight, political opposition thrown onto carts and driven away. All of these pictures I'd seen before, you know, businesses being burnt down, and of course, the distressing images of prisoners enslaved in concentration camps. But those pictures that I had seen were in black and white. Those pictures were taken over 70 years ago in the Second World War. And those people were Jews, political prisoners, disabled and homosexual. And although practically identical in content, the pictures that I was now seeing were in colour. The pictures I had seen before were in black and white. The pictures I was now seeing, as you can see on the board, were in colour, and instead of Jews, they were Bosnian Muslims. And they were shown to me not by a historian or by my elderly grandma, but by a survivor only in his late 30s. And instead of Germany, they were taken in Bosnia, not 70 years ago, but 20, the year that I was born. And someone had, they'd not coloured in these black and white pictures from World War II with crayons and paint, like my brothers had said. We just hadn't learned from the past. And what really struck me was that these atrocities were committed by former friends, former neighbours, and people that they'd see at the post office, at the shops, on the street playing football. And this is a clear example, really, of what happens when we adopt an us and a them mindset. There were racial comments before the war, and look what happened. So here I return to my original point. What does it really matter if someone shouts, "He's a Jew," or "That's so gay"? It's just a comment. But the comment really is just the starting point. It's never just a comment. A comment like this reveals an underlying prejudice. And who knows where it can end up? Well, we all know. Srebrenica, Rwanda, Armenia, and many, many more. Nazi Germany started with name-calling and book-burning. It's never just name-calling. Here are some more examples of the types of pictures that I saw that were repeated in colour. And so, I'd like to end with a quote by Edmund Burke, that all is necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. And it doesn't matter what technology comes next, black and white to colour, whatever is next after colour, it really doesn't matter what it is. All that matters is that it cannot take these same types of pictures. This is happening right now, and we need to stop it. Thank you.